Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yo, what up everyone, this is J Fuzz Type Beat. In today's video we're talking about the time I broke my leg. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the time I broke my leg. This was probably about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I was in 9th grade and I was wrestling. To give a backstory of it, I was on the wrestling team. I was in junior varsity. It wasn't the greatest. Just a keynote, I suck at wrestling, but I tried. I tried my best. I don't really have that aggression side, but I learned how to definitely tap into that. So I'm in 9th grade. I'm on the wrestling team, like I said, JV. We go to this one school. Now this wrestling tournament was known as a round robin. A round robin is pretty much when you wrestle everyone in your weight class, even your teammates. So I wrestled 182 at this time, and I fluctuated weights, but at this time I was 182. Pretty much, you join this tournament, right? You're on this team. I'm on my school team, high school team, and they tell you the people in your weight class. So it was 182. I think I had to wrestle 4 or 5 people. One person tapped out, as in he quit the tournament, so I got an automatic win there. But it came to the point where I had to wrestle my teammate. So that's just the backstory. So it's just a normal day, have weigh-ins. I was usually always underweight, so I never really had to worry, never had to sweat out some weight. So I was set there. Pretty much, I go to the school, right? We go on the bus. I believe it was right after school. It's December time. I remember this very specifically because it's a key point in the story. Towards the end, you'll see. So I go to the school. We're on the bus. This day, I feel very motivated. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to dominate. I'm ready to, try my best here. So, actually, crazy, before I even get into it, there is a video of this my dad has of me filming me, and it happened. Obviously, it was cut off after I actually broke my leg, but there was a filming of me breaking my leg. Now, I never saw this because I don't want to see it, and that's freaking disgusting, and I probably will never show it. But there is a video out there that of me breaking my leg, at least that I think so, because my dad said he recorded it. So, pretty much what happens is we go on the bus, right? Now, excuse me. We go on the bus. We pull up there. I'm chilling with my friend. I believe I was chilling with my friend Alex. Great friend, you know who you are. We're chilling there. We're ready for the tournament. Now, our boss would always give a prep talk before we left the bus. You guys go there and you guys beat their ass. You guys, let's try as hard as possible. We're a team here. Let's do this. So we go over there. Now, round robin, a tournament, the greatest thing about wrestling, it's individually based. So you can perform amazing yourself, but your team could do all right, That's the great thing about it, is you're not really so focused on others. You're focused on yourself. And it really develops yourself. It grows yourself. That's the greatest thing about the sport. And anyone who wrestles, I have high respect for them. You grow a lot as an individual. But so he give us a prep talk, right? We get off the bus. Now we hop into the school. I put my things to the side. You usually put your stuff in the stands. You kind of get ready. You have your singlet on. You have your headgear ready to go. You have wrestling shoes. And you kind of warm up with your team. Remember this day very well. So wrestling with my teammates, you kind of warming up and everything. I don't remember what happened the first match, even though I just said I remember the story, but I really don't remember the first match. Pretty sure I probably lost. And then I had another match where, like I said, that one guy tapped already. He already wasn't in the tournament anymore. He quit, so I got that automatic win. You walk right in the center of the circle, and then you have the ref raise your hand. You won the match automatically, right? So that happens. Now I'm wrestling my teammate. I'm not going to name drop him because who cares about him? But yes, this kid did break my leg and he was on my team. Like I said, it was a round robin, so I had to wrestle him. He was wrestling 182. I was wrestling 182. We had to go against each other because I believe he got a win. So in order for me to surpass him, I had to beat him. Or in order for him to get to the top, he had to beat me, So, because I had that technical win under me of that kid who tapped already. So let's get right into it. Before every match, before this match specifically, I was very nervous. I had to wrestle my teammate. I've wrestled him in the, when we're practicing and everything in the school. So I knew how he kind of wrestled, and people said he sucked. But like I said, I never had that self-confidence of I could beat someone, but I started building that up the more I wrestled. right? Like I said, I could never really tap into my aggressive side, but sometimes you have to, especially when someone has their arm right in your, right in your neck and right in your head, and it's like, dude, I gotta get out of this. So you gotta tap into your, your aggressive side. So, I warm up right before the match. I'm nervous. I have my parents in the stands rooting for me. Actually, I believe my mom wasn't there. She was busy doing work or something, and my dad was there. Right, so my dad's in the stand filming, all excited and everything. So, let's get right into it. I go right in the middle of the mat, wrestling, doing moves. I'm getting good hand control. I'll maybe pop up a clip or pop up a photo of the move that broke my leg. Excuse me. But essentially what happens is we're wrestling. We're going around about. We're gaining hand control, arm control, hand control, whatever you want to call it. It's a normal thing. If you know what wrestling is, you know what I mean. So we're doing that. Now, he gets me in this move. I'll probably pop up a photo of it, of what the move looks like. But he has his arm wrapped around my belly, right? So he's behind me. His arms are wrapped around me. Now, to get 2 points in wrestling, you have to get control, right? So you have to pop them down on the floor, on the mat, and you have to get behind them and put your arm, like your right arm where their leg is, and then your left arm near like their left arm, like on their like shoulder area, and that's considered control, and you get 2 points, right? So that's what he's trying to do. That's why he's in that move. So it's like, again, he has his arms wrapped around my belly area. It's behind me, right? So now he's trying to take me down. Now what you would do is you would drop your left leg or right leg, and you would pull them with you as you drop, so then they fall, and then you gain control, and then you get those 2 points, right? So he's doing that. But we're just a keynote in here, we're both noobs. And when I say that, we're both not experienced in the sport. So they say that a lot of injuries happen when people are not, they don't know what they're doing, or they don't have experience in what they're doing, right? So there's no aggression towards this kid. He broke my leg. His name will always be in my head because of the fact he did. And if he sees this video, man, the shit happens. It is what it is. I grew from the experience. It happened. But pretty much, like I said, he has his arm behind me, so he drops me. But when he drops me, right, I set a good base. So he really can't drop me. I kind of drop my chest down, so he's more like kind of squatting with his arms around me, right? And we're wrestling around. And when he does it, he drops his left leg, right? And I drop my left leg because it's kind of hard to gain, it's kind of hard to keep my base because he's kind of pulling me to the left and losing my balance. And when he does this, his leg pushes against my leg, right? Now, pretty much, the best way to explain it, and this is what we think, and this is what people say happened, and I haven't looked at the video to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure this is exactly what happened. He put all his weight on his left leg when he was dropping, like you're supposed to do, but when he was doing that, he put his leg against my leg. And as he's pushing down, break. It cracks. And you could hear it, bro. I felt it, obviously. Break. And I'm like, holy shit, right? So my leg breaks. I drop on the ground. And I remember my right hand like came into a fist and slammed on the ground. I'm like, oh my God. What the hell was that? And I'm like, now remember, I'm probably like 15 at this time, right? I don't ever curse, right? But I had it in that moment, and I especially don't curse in front of my parents. In that moment, and even in wrestling, in that moment, I had to that was the first thing that came out. I'm like, what the hell, bro? What the fuck was that? So I'm on the ground. I'm like, screaming agony, bro. Like, I'm talking, I am not feeling good by any means. I could feel the break. I knew it was bad, right? So he immediately, the kid was wrestling, my teammate, he immediately, gets off. It's like, what the hell? And he's like, he's in a panic. He's like, obviously he didn't mean to do that. And he's like, holy shit. He's freaking out. And I can see his face expression come looking up. Now, all of a sudden, I have my coaches, my dad runs down the mat, right? And, people are like, you can hear the stands like, oh! Like, dude, it was... Everyone saw it. It's almost like everyone felt it because they could hear the crack. You could literally hear the crack in the video. That's what my dad says, and that's what people say. And so I'm on the ground, and what happened to my leg, to explain it pretty much, is I had a comminuted break. It's something around those lines, where it pretty means that you break your tibia and fibula. You have two bones that run through your leg. It's tibia and fibula. Obviously, you have muscles throughout there. But you break those two bones, it's bad. You know, it's really bad. And it happened more towards my ankle area. So it's the bottom of my leg. Now this time, I had a huge growth spurt, so my legs are, my shins, they say, is very long. So this to put in perspective. So I have like a longer leg, right? And it broke near my ankle. So I'm on the mat, I'm screaming and everything. All the coaches come over. They kind of get me, and it's like, you know, if you're gonna carry someone to bed, or like usually you're gonna carry someone like a kid to bed, or whoever, your partner, whoever, to bed, and you grab them by, like, you put your arm where like their kind of neck is, and you grab their, like, their legs are kind of like in a fetal position, right? And you grab their legs and you grab their head and you kind of carry them over, right? That's essentially what they did to me, because I could feel. Now this is the weirdest feeling in the world, bro. Feeling your bones rub together, right? Obviously, that's not a normal feeling at all, because, you know, you don't really break bones. That's not really how it is, but you're not supposed to break bones, at least. And I could feel the freaking, like, bones rubbing together. It pretty much, the best way to describe it is, imagine like an itch that you can't get, that's in like internal, right? But you feel it. It kind of feels like a pain, or like a weird feeling off to the side. The best way to explain it, like you can't get to it, but it's just there, you know? It's like it's pretty much like if you have a scratch in your throat that you can't, like, you know, itch, or you can't, but you feel it there, and it's like in a weird spot where you can't, like, scratch it in a way, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that pain off to the side, that weird feeling. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And I will probably show photos, so that's why I said viewers discretion is advised. But I know I'll probably pop it up now or something. But you'll see, my bone was so close from puncturing skin, bro. Like, so close. You could, like, you had to put weight. You had to put your hand to support my leg, because it was just flopped. It was just sitting there flopped. My leg, like, in a weird position, like, because obviously it's broken, so it's not connecting. It's just flopping there. My leg, you can see my foot kind of just like dangling there, and the bone sticking up, where it's kind of like where the middle of your leg, you could see this bone kind of like just like puncturing up, right? It's not through the skin, but it. What I heard was, it was so, like, I was so lucky to not puncture skin, because it was so close from happening. Like, I mean, all I have to do is go through 10 layers of skin, which is easy, and the bone's right there. But I could feel it. Dude, it feels so freaking weird, dude. Oh my god. So, get back to the story. So, everyone's, I'm like, I'm like, Dad, put your fucking hand right under my leg, right under the shin, or not under the shin, like right under my leg to support it, because I don't have any support, because it's dangly, it hurts. So he puts his arm, and supports my leg, and I start doing that too. And I'm just sitting there, like, obviously I have adrenaline running through me, so the pain is not as crazy. And so they get a wheelchair, and they wheel me off the mat, right? And everyone's like, starts clapping, like, he seems like he's good, you know, obviously he's alive. There's no, like, bleeding, there's none of that. But I'm like, holy. You know, you have obviously adrenaline running through. You don't believe it just happened, but it really did. You know, like, you're all in a blur. It's like when you get in a car crash, you're like, what the hell just happened? It was like one of those, you know, like, holy crap. So wheel me off, and I remember, so you have this massive gym, and then, like, right across the gym, or right across the hallway, there's this room. It was like this, like, tech room or something. They put me in there, put the light on. All the coaches in there, like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Like, that was crazy. And I'm like, yeah. At this point, it's probably about 3-4 minutes after I broke my leg, I've calmed down, and I'm just breathing. They're like, just breathe it out. And you're like, you're a champ, man. You're a champ. I would be crying. And I mean, I was crying to a degree, but I wasn't, like, if you take your toy away kind of kid cry. Like, I wasn't like, I'm not gonna do it, but you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't like, screaming, crying. Like, I was like, oh my god, it was just like huge pain. And it's like, you're doing amazing, you got this. We're here for you. Whatever you need, man, we're here for you. We're gonna get the ambulance. So they call the ambulance. Ambulance is ready on the way. Sitting in that room. My dad's like, here, man, I'm here for you. Calls my mom up. My mom's freaking out. She heads over. She knows I'm gonna probably eventually go to the hospital, right? Which happens. So now I'm in that room. Fast forward like 5-10 minutes. Ambulance show up. They put me on this stretcher. I'm there, and they're moving my leg around. I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm just in pain. I remember it so specifically. The ambulance, right? The ambulance come in, they put me in the stretcher, and they push me out the doors, and they push me through the doors on the stretcher, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, it really settles in that they just broke my leg. What the hell just happened? Put me in the ambulance. I don't remember. I don't think my parents came with me, but the ambulance are there. My dad's like, I'm pretty sure my dad was like, I'm gonna follow you guys and see you guys at the hospital. Go to the local hospital. It's probably a good 15 minutes away. So I'm in the ambulance. They start taking my blood, my pulse, and they're like, wow, you're actually like, you calm down, like your heart rate's normal. Now, in this case, when you break a leg or anything kind of situation happens around these lines, people are usually panicked. Their heart rate's to the roof. But they said that I was so calm in this moment because I realized there's really nothing I could do. I just gotta settle it out. They're like, your heart rate's normal. Like, I don't know how you're really doing this, especially at your age. Like, you're very calm. Like, I don't know, man. I'm here. And I remember putting my hands behind my like head. It's kind of just chilling there. Like, holy crap! Like, this is actually happening, but there's really nothing I can do. Ambulance goes through. I remember I spark up a conversation with the guy there who's helping me out in the ambulance, and I put him like, how do you start this job? Have you seen anything like this? He's like, I see stuff like this all the time, man. You'll be fine. It is what it is. And he's just like giving me confidence. And shout out to that ambulance guy, because he really was EMT, if you want to call him, was a G. He really was super supportive, super nice, and it's something that I really respect about EMTs. Obviously, they're saving lives and they're doing things that, good percentage of people don't want to do, because it's kind of like, it's in a crazy environment when you're doing that kind of job. You go to places that like not a lot of people want to go, like when someone's hurt or something, So I had high respect for him, and anyone who like super supportive, and I commend that man. He was a great guy. Excuse me. So I'm in the ambulance. Heart rate's normal. Everything's normal. Eventually, we get to the hospital. Now we're in the hospital, right? Pull up there. It's beds are stacked everywhere. Like, there is beds everywhere across the hallway. We're in the emergency room. It's crazy. I remember it was just super packed. So they took my bed, and I was just on the side of the hallway. Now, when they usually, they usually have spots with curtains where you, like, a designated spot for people, but it was just so packed that night, especially on, I believe it was on a Friday night or Saturday night, that it's just known to be very packed, because, people are drinking and driving, people get injured, people get in fights, you're in the city, this hospital, so, like, a lot of people are in there, unfortunately. So it's just not a really good environment, and I remember being on the side of the, what is it called, the hallway, and just, some people, like, screaming in agony, like they're in pain. It's just not a good environment, man. My mom, my dad's there, I remember my brother called me because he was at the match. He won his whole match. He won the tournament. He's like, I did this for you. And it was a great feeling. Shout out my brother. What a G. Held it down for our name, for our family. And that was cool. That was cool to see that, or hear that especially, Like, even though I lost, I had, like, a horrible situation. My brother was able to get to the top and win his division, Shout out. So there, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm like, is Thomas alright? And I'm like, I kind of start crying, like, because I'm like, it really hits me, like, I'm really going to be out of commission for a while, I can't wrestle anymore, like, just feel defeated. So, pretty much I'm on this side of the hallway, and they're like, we're gonna start giving you some medication. They give me some morphine to ease the pain. It's not really doing anything. Now, when nurse comes over and she starts kind of like asking me questions, what happened? She's like, can I see your legs? She's like, oh my god. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. Everyone's just been like, oh my god. And I remember this so specifically too. She commented like, wow, your leg's very hairy. You know, you can say whatever you joke about that, but I remember that, and it was just funny. Oh, your legs are hairy. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, I'm like, don't comment my leg, but you can say that or everything. So, she says that, kind of, you know, just making me laugh, have a good time. And then like, they eventually give me more morphine. They're like, at this point, it's considered a narcotic where you have so much, you're probably gonna feel a little high off of it, right? Give me some more, and I'm now straight up in the clouds. You know, like in the clouds. When I say in the clouds, I don't feel any pain, dude. Someone could punch me in the face, I would have been laughing at them. You know, like there was no pain at this point, like, and it was very limited pain, if anything. But we're like, we're gonna need to take an X-ray. Now, I knew this was gonna be uncomfortable because I broke my arm and everything, and they have to move your arm a certain way when you break your arm to take an X-ray, and it doesn't feel good. So I know this is obviously the most extreme break I've had. So I know this is gonna be a mission and a half. So they pull me into the X-ray room. Super. I remember it was a cute nurse. They lay me down on the bed. They push me or I'm laying on the bed. They push me on the X-ray machine. And they're like, all right, we're going to need to move your leg a certain way. And I'm like, no. So they start, like, pushing a certain way. I'm like, you know, not screaming in agony, but, like, I'm like, oh, my God, please stop, dude. No, no, no. Like, I had, turned my whole leg. So basically, the moving part of my leg is my thigh and my knee is really moving the other part of the leg. Because the other part's broken, so you really don't have any control over that, right? So I'm like, oh my god, they turn me over, they take an X-ray of that, they turn me over the other way, I'm still in agony, like, oh my god, please stop, turn me the other way. Even though I'm, you know, high off morphine, it's still painful, you know, because there's only so much pain you could block out. So they do the X-rays, they do the X-rays, now I'm back in the hallway. I'm chilling there. I believe they moved me to a new part of the hallway. Say about an hour or two passes, right? My parents are there and everything. Everyone's super supportive through the whole time. Amazing. Shout out my parents, my brother, everyone who supported me there. I love you. Appreciate you. So, now they pull me into this room. I remember this room. Oh my god, dude. So, they're like, we're going to give you this one drug that basically you will not feel anything in your legs. When I say literally not feel anything, dude, I didn't feel my legs at all. And then they put, what the hell, the thing that makes you fall asleep, amnesia, or whatever the hell it's called. They give me that. So, it knocks me out, but basically the drug they gave me makes it so I'll be coming in and out of consciousness, but I don't feel anything. So I'm going in and out of consciousness, and, my parents are talking to them. I kind of barely remember what they're talking about, like, oh yeah, you know, like, he was wrestling, this and that. And all the doctors there and everything, and I feel this. Now, I'm in the middle of me going in and out of consciousness, I feel them, like, yanking my leg, like, repositioning my bones, because that's what they could do, like, pulling and everything. But I don't feel anything. You know, yeah, I remember, like, I completely broke my leg, but the fact is I didn't feel anything. It's crazy. Drugs are crazy. I don't feel one thing, and I feel them, like, talking my leg and this and that, like, it was crazy. And going in and out of consciousness, barely like remember the conversation they're having and everything, and then eventually, like, you know, probably about 10 minutes later, that finishes where they kind of reposition everything, put my leg down, and they take the thing over my mouth off, so I kind of get, you know, wake up pretty much, right? I'm not going in and out of consciousness anymore, and I'm like, holy crap. And they're like, oh, man, your leg's pretty busted. We're going to need to do surgery. So, like, you're going to be staying here for the night. And I'm like, okay. So, I go in this big-ass elevator, you know, fit in a stretcher in there, the bed in there, parents coming up with me. And then we pretty much, they bring me to this room. I remember this very specifically, too. They bring me to this room that's, like, all the way down the hallway. I got the last one to the right of the hallway, go all the way down. Now I'm in my own room. It was a cool view, I remember. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, oh my god. Now, at this point, I'm just defeated. I'm not eating anymore. I'm because obviously the drugs don't give really an appetite, and everything starts. All the pain medication, everything starts wearing off at this point, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, oh my god. And then it's late at night, so I eventually knock out. I believe my mom stayed there overnight. She slept on one of the chairs and stayed with me. Shout out my mom and my dad and everyone who helped me out there. And the nurses and the doctors, everyone there, treated me wonderfully. And then it was kind of blurry for like the next day or so. I don't know how long I was there. Remember taking a pee was a mission and a half because I had to wobble everywhere and I'd bring the little like IV shit with me too. IV machine shit that rolls. You know what I'm talking about when you're at a hospital. And then they eventually do the surgery. Obviously, I was knocked out for that. Come back, and I have, I had staples in my leg. I believe I had some, what do you call it? They sewed my leg. And yeah, so that happens. Fast forward, eventually I get out of the hospital. And I come back home. My parents set me up. Sitting there relaxing, and they obviously, when I came back home, they had medication for me, like pain medication, really strong stuff. Now this stuff is very highly addictive. I don't remember what it was, but it was highly addictive. So like they say, hide this from your kid. I don't want to get addicted to this. It's very highly addictive, but it's there for pain. So it's a very small pill. And then I'm chilling in my bed, I don't remember if it was that night or the next night, but I believe I go to bed, and the next night, I'm chilling. Or the next day, I wake up, and there's a massive, blister, pretty much, of, maybe blood or whatever, at the bottom of the heel of my foot. And it's just, I just didn't feel the greatest. I kind of still have, a little bit of, a scar from that. But that was not fun because I was just sitting idling for so long after this point that, blood kind of just came to that point. Disgusting, I know. Viewer discretion advised, but, it is what it is. And then all of a sudden, I remember this. I chill in my bed, and my parents are telling me, hey, we got you something. What do you mean, we got you something? They come in, and it's a brand new Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is, the gaming console I have at this time. The Xbox One wasn't out yet or anything like that. So I started crying because this was the greatest thing that happened after everything that just happened, all the shitty events. And I start crying, you're crying? I'm like, oh my god, Julian, we saw this, we want to get it for you. I'm like, oh my god. So they start telling me how they got it. And that's this time when I was at the hospital, right? I forgot to say this, but since my height and everything and my size, they said they put me in the adult section, but technically I was still a kid. And when you're a kid during Christmas time, especially at hospitals, they have donation drives, like a Christmas drive. Like I said, it was December time. It was December 19th, I believe it was. This whole thing happened. And my dad's perspective, he goes down to this drive. He's like, oh, let's see if we can get Julian anything. So we go down there, and he goes down there and walks around, and he sees an Xbox. And he immediately grabs the Xbox. I want this Xbox. Because there were a lot of people in that room, a lot of little kids who were getting stuff, but he saw that, and no one was touching that. He's like, you know what? I see your name on it. I'm getting that for you. Got it, and that's how I got it. So I got an Xbox. I had a break in my leg. And that was cool, because I got to play that for the next month or so. Me just sitting home, idle, and going to school, stressing out. And that's pretty much the time I broke my leg. Crazy experience. If you could teach anyone anything about this whole situation, is to, when you're wrestling, you can definitely get hurt, but, especially being inexperienced, but make sure you just, there's really nothing I could do in that situation, because, my teammate's the one who caused it, but it's just always be optimistic. When shitty things happen, just know it's going to get better, especially breaking your legs at the end of the day. because I thought my leg was gonna get cut off because how bad it was. Eventually, so I forgot to say this, but eventually, after the whole surgery, 2 titanium plates and like 4 or 5 screws in my leg. I still have them in my leg. Still have them to this day. It's weird. The skin over there is like squishy, and if I put my finger against that, like where my plate is, and just keep it pressed on my skin, it'll eventually make an indent. It kind of stays there for a little bit, and eventually it'll like, come back to normal your skin. But I don't know, it's disgusting. But that is pretty much the time I broke my leg. Anything else I could teach is wrestling is very important. I'd say like some kind of self-defense. It's very good. It's when you don't have any like tools that you're using. It's literally just you and having skill. And that's the time I broke my leg, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And if you ever break your leg, watch this video and you get to see my experience. And maybe one day you'll make your own video about it. Have a great day, everyone. If you're listening at this point, comment Creative Bananas. I'd appreciate it. And click that like button. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying new videos every Sunday. Appreciate it. Peace.